Charlie, welcome back to the museum.
Good to be back with you.
To see you again here. You almost 50 years ago landed on the moon. How was it to land in the Orion lunar module and to go in execution for 3 EVAs? Yeah, and you lived 3 days on the lunar surface.
That's correct, almost 72 hours. Well, the landing was very dynamic. We had photographs of our landing spot, but the resolution was 15 meters. Mm-hmm. So as you came in closer to land, you started seeing holes and rocks at less than 15 meters, but still very difficult to pick out a landing spot to land. So I was talking John Daum, and we were very excited. He was doing a job, and we hit, and boom, almost dead level. And I was so excited, I screamed at the top of my voice, "Old Orion is finally here, Houston, fantastic." Well, I mean, that was the start of a 3-day adventure, of course. And we did a lot of exploration. We had a very exciting landing spot with mountains to the left, mountains to the right, the highlands area. We were about 2,500 meters higher than Neil Armstrong when he landed, elevation-wise. So the rocks were different, and it was beautiful, exciting. We never got tired of describing it and seeing the differences.
As an astronaut, you have already seen some space museums and exhibitions in the US and worldwide. How do you like the space exhibition Apollo and Beyond at the Technik Museum Speyer?
This is probably in the top tier of the museums I've ever visited around the world. I would say certainly in the top 3. And certainly the tops in Germany and that I've seen in Europe. Several museums in the States are not even as big as this for the area, and you display so many different artifacts. You all have done a wonderful job here, Gerhard, to present the history of space and the feel of it all. And so I just congratulate you. It's always wonderful to be back to just see what's new.
Mm-hmm. More than 50 astronauts have already visited the exhibition in Speyer. The first one was you at the grand opening of the exhibition Apollo and Beyond in October 2008. Has the exhibition changed a lot since your first visit 13 years ago?
Well, certainly it has. As you have expanded the museum and expanded the exhibition, this area here is with the full-scale lunar module, the command module, the suits, and all of those things that you've added on, plus the panels all around. Your explanations of everything is outstanding, so people get a real feel for what Apollo and Beyond was like.
Over the past year, some of your former colleagues have been guests at the museum. Have you been able to exchange impressions and experience with some of them?
One or two, especially the European astronauts that I'm friends with. We have been to other exhibits and other, not exhibits, but other conventions and stuff like that, conferences. And we always get around to talking about the history, and every one of us say this is a fantastic experience. So I would recommend it anybody that likes space or anybody that's interested in aviation, this is a must-see.
Mm-hmm. This is already your 4th visit in our museum. You spent almost a total of 3 weeks with us in the last 13 years. What did you particularly like about it?
Well, that's the first time we visited since in 2 years due to COVID. But from the beginning to now, it's just expanded, 10 times at least. And I love the panels that you've added. They explain what the history was like. A spacesuit, the medical stuff, and all of those things that we got involved with and were in part of our training. It comes to life here, and you get a good impression of what it was like in those days. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic.
Do you have a favorite artifact in our museum?
Well, a couple that I gave you maybe might be my favorite. There's a flight suit of mine that we wore not in training, but in flight training. We used to fly a lot in our T-38s from Houston to Florida. The training was actually in Florida, but it's where the simulators and the simulated moonscape was. And so NASA went through a couple of flight suit iterations, and you've got one that I wore, a flight jacket. It's not quite orange, but it's that basically gold. Yeah, gold color. And I remember we did have an orange one early on, but nobody liked it, and we got this gold one. So that's a favorite, and I think a food pack and other things like that we were able to get on display here. So those are the things that are really nice.
Is there a moment in the museum that you particularly remember?
Well, there was a opening, I believe, of this area part of the exhibit. That's I don't know how many years ago it was.
13 years ago.
13 years ago that we were here, and there's a big crowd, and people were really enthralled with what you were done, and so I think that opening was probably one of the most memorable times.
Well, we have a lot of large artifacts, but especially from space flight, we can't have so many big artifacts because most of the parts get lost. For example, from the Saturn V, 111 meters, and only the 3 meters of command module came back. Is this very important for you that some artifacts from you are on display here, because when you are gone someday, people will remember you?
It's humbling, actually, yes, to have an opportunity to come and see things that I wore, things that belong to me on display here, but more importantly, just to see the history that's captured of every of Apollo, and so those things are just really it's just so meaningful to me, and brings back a lot of fond memories when I walk through here and see the simulated space, well, the real space suits and the models and stuff like that, and the lunar surface. It just brings back a lot of exciting moments in my memory, and so I just always enjoy my visits.
Yeah. We enjoy always your visits here, and we had a great relationship and friendship for almost 3 decades, and it's very exciting with you. Thank you very much for the interview, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate it, Gerhard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your hard work. I'll give you 2 thumbs up.
That's good.